What's going on, guys? Today, we are finally here at UFC 327 Fight Week. I'm so excited, bro. Unfortunately, last week I was cooking up a video breaking down Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira. I literally watched their last three fights each the night before. I was getting ready, and then Joshua Van pulled out of the fight as I was editing it, so very unfortunate. I might just reuse that footage for UFC 328 when they end up fighting, but it is what it is. There's still a lot to talk about on this card. A lot of good fights. You know, another good friend of mine is fighting on it, Jiri Prochazka, so I'm very excited for that. I am also very worried for that, but you know how it is when he fights. Let's just get on into it. The main event, Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. Now, I don't know how many of you saw, but I actually did make a video when this fight got announced talking about it, but I'm low-key going to repeat a lot of my points and just break it down again because I want to. So, guys, this isn't a bold take. I think Jiri Prochazka is going to knock out Carlos Ulberg. And the only thing I've been deciding in my mind is whether it's going to be dominant or whether he's going to have to weather a storm. And that's the thing with me. I think either way he's going to win. Either way, like if Carlos Ulberg lands on him good, if it becomes like, Carlos Ulberg hurts Jiri, that could happen. That could happen. But who really thinks Carlos Ulberg is just going to sleep Jiri? Like, there's a chance he does. Obviously, he could. Carlos Ulberg is good. But, I'm sorry. Carlos Ulberg is taking people like Volkan Ozdemir to a decision when Jiri Prochazka KO'd him in the first round, 5 years ago when he first joined the UFC. And I know you can't pick fights solely off of that, but you see what I mean. Jiri Prochazka is a finish or be finished guy. I think if you're going to pick someone to finish Jiri, it has to be someone with insane power and ability to set up like Alex Pereira. The rest of these guys, even if they do have really good power and they are a really good technical striker like Khalil, they're just not ready for when Jiri makes it like a total war, when he makes it a total scrap. Jiri has the most experience in that realm, and the rest of them don't. The rest of them, a guy like Carlos Ulberg is going to be preferring to keep it at a distance where he can work and, send his high kicks, counter. But Yuri's probably just going to try to get in his face, make it a bit of a scrap when he wants to. And Jiri is actually, people try to act like Jiri just Homer Simpson maxes in his fights, but Jiri recently has been looking pretty good. He's been getting some really good pull counters. His head movement has been nice. He sets things up good. He baits people with the high guard and then counters. Has good teeps. He throws his kicks kind of slow for some reason. I don't know why. He always just kind of sends it up obviously and tries to set something else up after it. But it's just his style, man. He's just in there. He's having fun. He's relaxed. I think he's going to win this fairly easily. I do think he'll go through some adversity, which he does in every fight. I mean, Hokit was low-key tagging him up in the first round. I think Carlos Ulberg will be countering him at first. But I just think Carlos Ulberg likes it to be too technical for his own good in this matchup. And he's not going to be ready for when Jiri does what he normally does. So this fight will probably be harder for Jiri than a Khamzat Chimaev fight would be for Jiri. And people are going to think I'm rage baiting or just trying to engagement bait. But I'm telling you guys, Jiri beats Khamzat easily. I know people are going to act like I sound dumb and stuff, bro. I'm a hardcore, okay? I promise you. I watched Moicano versus Duncan last week, the whole card, okay? But this video isn't about that. Okay? I'll get into that when they eventually fight, which they probably will, because Khamzat's probably going to beat Strickland and then move up, and Jiri's going to beat Ulberg. Moving on to the new co-main event, Azamat Murzakanov versus Paulo Costa. At first, I wanted to be... Hold on, let me look at the odds for this one. I'm just curious. Okay, Murzakanov is a 205 favorite. That's decent favorite. It makes sense. He's undefeated. He has crazy KO power. Literally KO'd Hokit with a jab when Ankalaev took him to a 3-round decision in the fight before, which just goes to show how much people were overrating Ankalaev just to try to put Pereira down a little bit, but it is what it is. Azamat Murzakanov is really good. He's a 205er. Paulo Costa is a 185er moving up. And at first, I wanted to try to pick a nice underdog pick correctly when most people are going to be picking Azamat and pick Paulo Costa, but I think Azamat Murzakanov is going to catch Costa. I think Costa will have a sneakily good style in this matchup. of spamming body kicks and high kicks because Paulo Costa likes to do that, and Rakic was kind of working that on Azamat a little bit. Azamat, he likes to mostly just use his hands, so it's a good strategy with guys like that. But I think Paulo Costa is still pretty hittable. He is able to get rocked. We've seen that time and time again. He's been finished before. So I think all it takes with Azamat is one good shot, especially being the 205er against him. Paulo Costa will probably have that lighter man's advantage. I can see this. I don't know, man. I can see Paulo Costa doing weirdly good. That's why I wanted to pick him, but I'm going to play it safe here. I think Azamat Murzakanov is going to take this one by KO, but, I think people might be underestimating Costa in this one. I think Costa has like a sneakily good style that might work against Murzakanov. While it works, it might be working until it doesn't. It might be like Paulo Costa was beating him until he was face first on the canvas, but it is what it is. Moving on. I keep saying it is what it is a lot. It's all right. Curtis Blades versus Josh Hokit. I'm going to pick Curtis Blades in this one. I know I'm going just red corner favorite a lot, but it gets to a point, when it's like the guys have been fighting better competition versus this guy who literally has just joined the UFC. I mean, Curtis Blades hasn't been looking good, I will say that. Like, part of me did want to pick Josh Hokit just because he's the newer, fresher guy, but I'm sorry, bro. I'm going to go with experience in this one. Curtis Blades has literally fought everyone at heavyweight. Like, it gets to a point. I think that experience is really going to help him here. He'll probably take Josh Hokit down, especially if it is true that he was dealing with an injury in the Rizvian-Kuniev fight, and now he's going to come back better. Then I think Curtis Blades is going to be able to win this fight. It's heavyweight MMA, though. I'm not going to get into who's going to have the better calf kick or who's going to, control the center of the cage more. Heavyweight's pretty buns, but we're going to move on. Man, there's going to be a lot of KOs. There's going to be a lot of KOs on this card, bro. Reyes versus Walker is pretty much a guaranteed glass cannon matchup. Both of them can knock each other out. Both of them can be knocked out. All it takes is a gust of wind. All it takes is, a little bug to enter the octagon and a little fly to land on their chin. Johnny Walker's getting KO'd by 16-year-olds in sparring, bro. Reyes getting KO'd by Ryan Spann. I'm not going to just hate on these guys. I'm not just going to hate on these guys. I'm going to pick Johnny Walker here. I think Reyes is the favorite, but I don't know. I'm pure. This is mostly being based off of their most recent performance. I know Reyes was having a bit of a resurgence, but I just want to remind you guys that was against Anthony Smith. And who else did Reyes finish? Nikita Krylov. And Walker just finished Ming Yang, who destroyed Anthony Smith and was looking really good. Like, I know this matchup, it's going to be, I'm not going to feel very bad if I get this pick wrong, since both of them are probably, one of them is going to knock each other out in the first round, or it's going to be the first UFC dual knockout. But I think Johnny Walker is more likely to land on Reyes. Johnny Walker is a little more dynamic. He's kind of more explosive on the feet. Reyes just fights kind of more timid now, it almost seems like, especially in that Ulberg fight. I just did not like the way he was looking in there. And I'm going to go with Johnny Walker here to knock out Reyes, probably in the first round. Moving on, Cub Swanson versus Nate the Train Landwehr. Let me look at the odds real fast. That's not gonna sway my thing. I'm leaning Cub Swanson. I just want to see the odds real quick. Oh, Cub Swanson. Oh no, he's barely not. Nate Landwehr's minus 115. So it's pretty much a pick'em matchup. And I'm going with Cub Swanson here. I think Cub Swanson looked pretty good in really good in his last fight. Nate Landwehr, like, if Nate Landwehr was like some prospect coming up, I'd probably pick him. But the thing is, Nate Landwehr's been losing to other unranked guys. And I think Cub Swanson has so much experience. It's his retirement fight. He wants to go out on a win. He still is looking good. It's not just experience, but he's been losing. It's like experience, but he's coming off a good win. I think Cub Swanson's going to win this fight. Might be a decision. It might be a nice scrap on the card. But I'm going to go with Cub Swanson to win this fight. Moving on. Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. Bro, they're both Bellator bums. Dude. The thing is, I want to pick Pitbull. I know Aaron Pico's like a huge favorite. Let me see what he is. Aaron Pico's a minus 330 favorite. Bro, I'm sorry. I feel like this fight should be like pretty close odds. Like, even though I think Patricio Pitbull like literally just does nothing when he fights, he still hits crazy hard, and Aaron Pico is definitely really chinny. Aaron Pico looked really good against Aaron Murphy up until he was out cold. But, I can see why they're picking Aaron Pico. He just is a lot more well-rounded. He's a little more active when he fights than Patricio Pitbull. Patricio Pitbull literally waits until the perfect opportunity, while Aaron Pico kind of goes forward and tries to find shots. But I feel like that could get him KO'd here by Pitbull. I'm going to go with the masses, though. I'm going to sheet max. I'm going to pick Aaron Pico, even though I really want to pick Pitbull. Aaron Pico's a huge favorite. I see why. Like, in my head, it's not like I really think Pitbull's going to win. I think it's a close fight, but the odds are so in favor of Pico that I'm going to pick Pico. But I might throw a little money on Pitbull, though, because I feel like there's like a sneaky good chance he could chin Pico, but it is what it is. Volk finishes both these guys in under a round. I don't know how I just brought Volk into this for no reason, but let's move on. Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. Kevin Holland, bro. He is one of the worst fighters to pick because he looks so good one fight and he looks so bad the next fight. But consistently recently, he's been looking pretty bad. He's just been losing more than he's been winning in the last couple of years. I mean, he has been facing... I don't even know about that. I can't even say he's been facing... No, he's been facing better guys than Randy Brown, obviously. But I don't think Randy Brown's that good. I think I'm going to go with Kevin Holland here based on his experience and fighting better guys in his career. And even though Kevin Holland's best years are behind him, I don't think Randy Brown is going to be good enough to beat him. I mean, it's kind of an interesting matchup because both of these guys usually are used to using their range and length against the other welterweights, but they literally will match each other. But I'm going to go with Kevin Holland here to win. Kevin Holland can still pull out a good performance every now and then. This has been a longer layoff than him than we're used to. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Kevin Holland to win this one. I'm excited for this fight, man. I like Ribovic. I've been watching his last couple Apex fights. Loved his fight at the Sphere, obviously. He low-key destroyed Daniel Zellhuber's career that night. But Gamrot has not been looking too good. The thing is, though, I'm going to pick Gamrot to win because, he lost to Oliveira. Like, all right, bro, Oliveira just dominated Max Holloway for 5 rounds. And he lost to Dan Hooker, which does look really bad. But I feel like Hooker just had a really good style against Gamrot in that fight. And Gamrot was still hurting Hooker in that fight too. It was a split decision. So even though he lost to Dan Hooker, I don't know. Obviously Gamrot isn't as good as someone like Arman. I guess he's not as good as BSD. But I also think Dan Hooker also just sold that fight. I feel like Dan Hooker could have beat BSD if he had not tried to clinch so much with BSD and played it a little more safe. But I'm getting besides the point. I think Gamrot's going to be able to take Ribovic down for at least 2 rounds. It might be a close decision. Ribovic might hurt Gamrot. Ribovic might even really sting him. But I think I'm going to go with Gamrot to at least win 2 rounds in this and win by decision. I think Gamrot does that to most of the unranked guys unless they're really, really special. And I think Ribovic is really good, but I'm going to go with Gamrot in this one. Tony Suarez is going to beat Lupi Godinez. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, bro. I'm going to quickly pick Chris Padilla first. I'm going to quickly pick Chris Padilla first. I think he's going to take this win. But Kevin Gastelum versus Vicente Luque. I think Kevin Gastelum's going to win this fight. I just don't think he's been looking as bad as Luque. They both haven't been looking good, but Luke's really been pulling up with some unk performances recently, and I just don't think Luke is gonna be able to take Kevin down. Really, Kevin is a thick guy. Kevin will probably just outstrike Luke, so I'm gonna go with Gastelum in this fight, and then I'm gonna pick Charles Radke to win this one, and yeah. If you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you. You guys are a real one. Thank you so much for 150 subscribers. You guys are my day ones. We're gonna make it big. So just keep following, keep watching. See you guys.